Arrangement of electrons in an atom. In an atom, the electrons revolve around the nucleus in different energy levels or shells, and each of these shells is associated with a definite energy. The energy of K shell is the least, while those of the L, M, N, and O shells increase progressively. The distribution of electrons in various shells of atom is known as electronic configuration, and it takes place in such a way as to achieve maximum stability for the atom. Electrons start filling in K shell, that is n equals 1, first before going into L, M, N shells and so on, that is n is equal to 2, 3, 4 orbits and so on. The maximum number of electrons that each energy level can hold was given by Bohr and Bury, and is known as Bohr-Bury scheme. Bohr-Bury scheme for the distribution of electrons in an atom. So electrons fill up the lower energy level first. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in a shell is given by 2n square, where n is shell number. The outermost shell of an atom cannot accommodate more than 8 electrons, even though it may have the capacity to hold more. For example, if M shell is the outermost shell of an atom, then it can hold a maximum of 8 electrons, though its maximum capacity is 18 electrons. But there is an exception. If the outermost shell is K shell, then it can hold a maximum of 2 electrons only. The outermost orbit cannot have more than 2 electrons, and orbit next to the outermost, that is penultimate shell, cannot have more than 9 so long as the next inner orbit in each case has not received the maximum number of electrons as required by 2n square rule. Special case of potassium and calcium elements. Potassium M shell can accommodate up to 18 electrons, but in the case of potassium, fourth energy shell N has started to fill up even before the third energy shell M. Only 8 electrons is complete with 18 electrons. Because as the size of the atom increases, the energy level of shells get closer, and ultimately the fourth shell develops the third energy shell M. Let us take an example for calcium now. M shell can accommodate up to 18 electrons, but in the case of calcium, fourth energy shell N has started to fill up even before the third energy shell M. Only 8 electrons is complete with 18 electrons.